Welcome back to Unstabled. This is the 54th episode, and we are rolling right into the Super Bowl. It's 2 days before we go 6 months without any football, which kind of sucks. I feel like we had just started the season, and there was so much excitement, and the Colts obviously didn't really deliver, but it is what it is. Super Bowl's here. Pro Bowl was a joke. At this point, just stop the flag football crap. But I'm Jeff Steckel. I've been here since the episode 1. I've been with this AFC South show since it had like 70 subscribers, and I think we've got it up to almost 500. So, thanks everybody who watches, likes, subscribes, and everybody that gives their time. And that's a good lead into Justin Kingmaker _DFF, who came on not too long ago and has been a great piece. Always flexible with his time, and we appreciate it. How are you doing, man?
Appreciate those kind words, man. I have had the best time since joining the show. I think we started before the season, maybe before preseason. We linked up, and gosh, I feel like, man, we are on our way, bro. We are on our way. We keep growing, which is great. I mean, you guys keep on subscribing, you keep liking, you keep sharing, and that's much appreciated. Because after all, man, Jeff and I are here for y'all. We're here to talk some Colts football and then whatever other craziness that we think about. And we are just having a good time. And I'm glad that y'all are here along with us.
For sure. We've been a little sketchy on a little, recently we've kind of gotten into off-season mode. Just had a lot going on. I've had car issues, which finally got resolved. I was at the dealership past like 10 o'clock last night, and it's just been a long few days, but we're trying to get a little more consistent, get more of an ironclad schedule put out. We at least want to go back to releasing at least one a week on Fridays, maybe 2 a week, depending on how much activity is going on in the off season. And hopefully this isn't one where Ballard's going to sit on his hands. I'm not too optimistic, but hopeful. It's Ballard. This is what his eighth or ninth year doing this, so I don't expect a big change. We've gone over this in depth in past episodes. I don't feel like talking about it anymore. But while y'all are here, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Head over to Kingmaker Sports. Do the same. This AFC South show. If you're a Titans fan, I don't know if there's any of those that exist. We have Titans takeaways. There's Third and Teal, which we'll get into them in a second. And, of course, the Texans, that Real Texas Team podcast. I don't know why you'd be here if you're a fan of them, but hey, if you are, welcome. But, there's a reference to them too. Jacksonville. We're not going to let you off the hook. I know this happened a little while ago, the memes and the reels. I'm sure everybody's seen them. But, we can't let this one go, man. This shit's not happening.
No. Y'all check this out. This fool is like made up in a video game as a joke.
We're gonna rag this dude. It's
Duval.
Okay. I'm sorry, man. It's so comically bad. I can't not laugh at this shit.
When I watched this, I was sitting here thinking, oh my God, did nobody try and prep this guy and teach him what the Duval chant is? Okay. Jaguars fans, I know y'all are like, oh, this is our new coach. We got to protect him. We don't want him to look stupid. Okay, first off, he's already looking stupid. Okay, y'all got to prep this guy. You cannot have him go out there and not know the Duval chant. Okay, Jaguars fans, okay, it's Duval. And this guy comes out here looking like and sounding like just a creep show with Duval.
Of course, Eric's here when we're doing.
You cannot let him do that. He is now the face of your franchise, and he is out there making y'all look dumb.
There's no excuse, Eric. There's no defending this.
Nah, ain't no being quiet. No, look, you let it rip, bro.
This dude looks like it was different faces pieced together of other people's faces. I don't know how, like, the shape and his eyebrows. And I'm sorry, if you were gonna keep Doug Peterson if this is your option. I don't understand it, man.
Yeah.
And trying
Like
to tell me that like Ben
dude,
Johnson wasn't the prize.
if this
Why
dude
did you
is an
keep
offensive
him?
genius, like great. But do not let this man in front of a microphone. Let somebody else go out there and do it. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They didn't they kept their GM bulky. Ben Johnson was like, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the Bears. And then they fired Balky to get Cohen, who was in some weird tango with the Buccaneers. Like the whole thing was just a shit show. And it's like, if the same thing is true in relationships. If how you get them is how you lose them. And if he spurned the Buccaneers, who were going to make him the highest paid coordinator, and did all that shit, lied about some appointment, and then just accepted the head coach job in Jacksonville.
So dirty.
Do you think this dude? Okay, this guy's going to win a Super Bowl. He's going to put him over the top.
In what county are they going to win a Super Bowl?
Exactly.
Duval.
It was the pedoiest.
And then he did like the head bob, like
it was
trying to look cool.
So terrible. It was bad.
I don't know. Really I don't know if I could show my face if they hired him as the Colts
so bad
head coach. Like if we got our dream and Steichen was gone and they hired him Cohen, they'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah,
sorry, bro.
I don't get that either. Like Press Taylor getting stop. It was bad. Yeah, that whole
it was bad.
It's like he was trying to be quiet. Like, look, if you're coming in as head coach and you're going to do the Duval thing, that is not what you do.
You sell it, you own that crap, and you let them know, Duval. You own it, bro. Duval. It's a chant, not a whisper.
And he had this creepy smile after it too, like it was the most the cringiest shit,
dude. And so that clip right there came from the Pat McAfee show, and they were clowning on this dude. Like, I didn't want to put the whole clip because I didn't want to be like, I wouldn't want to clown on that bad, but it's hard not to. Like, I said to myself, okay, I'm not gonna just go full tilt and just like comedy roast this dude.
Oh man, I roasted.
That's the worst thing. But in his defense, like, okay, I got to defend him a little bit because the Jaguars have a massive PR team, and somebody should have taught him how to do the Duval chant before he went out there. Okay.
Like, okay, when he accepted the job, you had to know that there's a way to do this, and you didn't practice, like you didn't pay any attention to, and that was the best version.
If the Jets hire a head coach, you don't think that they're going to make sure that he understands how to do the Jets chant? Okay?
Jets.
Jets. Like,
no,
you're going to know that.
Own that shit.
Yes. I don't care about being quiet, but
no, it was
for all you Jags
bad.
fans. Hey, look, I hope this dude comes in. Well, I mean, okay, I'm lying. I don't. I hope he sucks.
I don't. I think he's going to be terrible.
Jaguars. But because I'm a believer in Trevor Lawrence, I hope he comes in and we all see what Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be and should be, right?
We'll get to it, Eric.
Hey, Eric, why are you bringing up old stuff, man?
We're talking about new stuff. That stuff's in the past.
Yeah, go back and watch that episode. We already covered that. But yes, we are going to talk about that again.
Yeah, we're still going to talk about it. I'm still not happy that Ballard's still around. I think I don't know how you justified at this point. I'm not even happy that Shane Steichen really is still around, but 2-year head coach, like, okay. Like, I think you can justify it, especially since Bradley was so terrible. I think you can make an argument for him. I don't see how you can make an argument for Ballard. I'm not on board with it. I was on board a few years ago. I'm not. I hated it was basically they fired Gus Bradley for Gus Bradley. And somehow Gus Bradley failed, got fired, and somehow got promoted with the 49ers.
You hear about people failing upwards all the time, right? In management.
Yeah,
but you don't hear about people failing upwards with a whole other company.
Yeah.
It's not like he failed upwards with one company. I mean, with one team. This other company's like, oh, well, you were horrible over there. So let's give you like a massive promotion over here
Yeah.
with our team.
Yeah. I think he's now like, I think he's on Robert Sala's defensive staff and like assistant head coach of the 49ers now. I'm like, how are you anything more than like a defensive backs coach or some shit? Like, I don't, whatever. Do you 49ers? You don't have anything to do with this.
Yeah.
But the only thing, I can't remember his name. I just mentioned him. Part of Lou, whatever staff. I can't remember his name.
Lou Anarumo.
No, not him. He hired somebody. I don't like that hire.
Yeah, they coached
the
together
Ravens.
Before.
Yeah.
I
don't mind that hire.
It's not like any of these people have a lot of experience in the NFL anyway. If I was looking at his resume, and it wasn't really like that special.
I mean, the guy, I think he came from Baltimore, so
Baltimore is a good place to come from.
Yeah. So I think at least that's a decent hire. I still don't like Lou. But my thing is, in Curtis, and I was talking to Curtis about it quite a bit, and he's like, well, they didn't have anything in Cincinnati at all. Like, there's really nothing on defense for Cincinnati to work with. And to an extent, I mean, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because Gus Bradley didn't know how to use anybody on his team. Like, he did not run the right scheme. He didn't make any adjustments. He didn't know how to use, someone like Latu. He didn't know how to use these players. And I say that from the couch, but you look at the size and speed of someone like Latu and you understand the type of player that they could be. And you always had him hands down on the line. That's just
if you're going to take some of the credit for Trey Hendrickson on the defense for having the most sacks, being the sack leader this year, which I think is BS because, I mean, you don't take credit for an amazing player being an amazing player. But especially when the rest of your defense wasn't much better than the Colts was last year. We know that was atrocious. Yeah. Which we went over that in a previous episode where we talked about them hiring him as a defensive coordinator. So if you want to hear about all that and those numbers, go check that out. I think you'll find it be really interesting about the similarities between the Bengals defense last year and the Colts defense last year. And you'll see why we're not that excited about this hire, because the numbers aren't that much different. I mean, they're barely different at all.
Like the only thing that it was almost identical. I think the Colts were a little bit better in the red zone.
Yeah. You called it I still think it's hilarious. In the text message, you called it the most lateraliest move that the Colts have ever made. And you were spot on with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a word, but it should be. At least for this. It was the most lateraliest thing. They were slightly better in Cincinnati. They had a much better offense in Cincinnati, which benefits a defense. And the one thing Curtis was arguing was, well, they scored fast. So their defense was on the field a lot. I'm like, now hold on, Curtis. I would rather score fast than 3 and out, which is a lot of what the Colts did. And then I went over average time of possession, and the Bengals held the ball average throughout the season longer than the Colts did. So the Colts didn't put up points and had the ball less.
Yep. So tell me how that math ain't mathing.
Which does a little bit of credit to Gus Bradley, but he also had one of the worst defenses in the NFL statistically. So, but I'm using this as a reason for. I mean, I'm not saying Gus Bradley was a good defensive coordinator. He wasn't. I'm saying
we will never say that.
The Bengals, they did hold the ball longer than the Colts, and his defense was slightly better. It's just, but maybe he'll blitz more. Maybe he has more talent on this team, and he'll know how to use them. I mean, these are a lot of maybes.
Well, when you look at the defensive line, which I thought was stupid because you said, "Oh, the defense, defense success starts up front." No crap, right? But you start with the defensive line. But anyways, so if you look at what we have, defensive line plus edge rush capability, we have a lot more going on than he had in Cincinnati. Yeah. I mean, of course, he had the sack leader of 2025. Okay, fine. Okay, but that's one dude. Our whole front, I wouldn't even say front four, man. Like I'd go front seven and say we have a way better front seven than he did. Now, our secondary is atrocious. That's where the focus needs to be. Don't come in and mess up a good thing, because DeForest Buckner already had some things to say about this, but don't come in and mess up a good thing here. Okay, you got a young stud in Latu coming in, or that's already proved that he can produce. Okay, you got DeForest Buckner, a proven veteran leader. Okay. You got Kenny Moore, a proven veteran leader in the secondary that you can build around that, because you're about to lose like 3 starters on the secondary. Like, you're going to lose some guys, okay? But you've got to figure that part out.
They'll run it back.
I believe in my guys. I think we got the right guys.
But my whole thing is like Zaire Franklin, he was in coverage a lot, and he's a liability in coverage. He is not a good cover linebacker. He is not. He's great at play recognition. He's a great tackler. He knows how to get in the backfield. He knows how to bring down the runner. He's a really good tackler, but he is terrible in coverage.
Yeah.
So why was he in? Why did Gus Bradley have this man in coverage? Like, he's not good.
Some of that stuff doesn't make sense. And that that's something that we can talk about on our free agency episode, our preview show. Is I think there's some people out there that could be good in coverage, because it wouldn't hurt us to get another outside linebacker. So if Zaire can, still do his thing, and we can get a guy that can drop back in coverage, that would be great. I can't wait to go over stuff on our free agency preview. But yeah, I mean, there's some things that Anarumo is going to have to prove himself in that regard to build a secondary. And you don't really have much rope to hang yourself with, to be honest. Because your boss doesn't have much rope to hang himself with, and his boss doesn't, because they both should have been gone this year anyway. So Lou might be a casualty of them leaving, of getting fired if things don't go well next season in 2025. So Lou's going to have to do everything he can to secure and say, hey, my defense was on point. My guys did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, but what I do like to hear, and this wasn't even planned for the show, I just thought of it right now. Anthony Richardson, he's training with Josh Allen's, who helped him during his rookie season, helped him with his throwing, footwork, stuff like that. Can't remember his name, but Anthony Richardson this offseason is going to work with him. So,
well, we see what it did for
maybe
Josh Allen. Josh Allen's rookie year, he came out and was just trash water, right? Just dumpster water.
Yeah.
And then now he's the 2024 MVP of the NFL.
Yep.
So if he can go from horrible rookie season to actually being able to have some accuracy and throw a little bit, to now a handful of years later being the reigning MVP, like, bro, this might do well for Anthony Richardson. So let's, and you and I have been very fair. I feel like we've been more than fair on Anthony. Yes, we've had some times where we've said, okay, no, this guy's not showing well. But when you're the only quarterback in recollection that would tap yourself out of a game, especially in that situation, you deserve a little ridicule, first off, right? Which people that get paid way more than us to talk about this have said that. But that's going to help a lot for him. So being fair as far as saying, okay, he's shown us some things that he likes, or that he does that we like, and he's shown us some things that he needs to work on.
Yeah. So
this is good, though. This is great news that Anthony Richardson is going to be able to work on some things that is an obvious problem.
Yeah. Yeah. His short passing game started to improve at the end of the season. But there was still, some poor decision making. There was still some of that hero ball shit that just like there's still some of those rookie tendencies, and like we were talking about, just kind of sloppy footwork in the pocket, and just shit that I hope that he can get ironed out.
Yeah.
Learn when to put a little more touch, when to put a little more zip on the ball, but because it seemed like sometimes he was zipping it where it needed touch and vice versa. Just stuff that he's got to learn. Like he's got to work with his receivers in the offseason. I hope he's putting plans together to work with them outside of, the practice, the offseason program, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I hope he's kind of tries to start building a better rapport with his receivers. But
Anthony Richardson should not be taking a vacation.
Yeah.
All right. You haven't earned it. I'm sorry. I know your body goes through a lot. These players, they talk all the time about, how it's a car crash and all this stuff and like that. And it is, man. Look, those guys are out there putting their bodies on the line, but they've earned it. I don't feel that Anthony Richardson should be going to Cabo or anything like that. I feel like he should be going to the gym and be focusing on improving on the aspects that he needs to work on. So, hey, Rich, I'm on the support wagon with you, but these are things that you need to do. Okay, veterans can do that that have earned it. Sorry, brother, you haven't earned it yet.
Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to that.
Do we still think the team has faith in him? I think we'll find out in the offseason. I mean, if the Colts brass bring in someone like Kirk Cousins or I don't know if Russell Wilson was going to not be a Steeler next year, but if they bring in someone like that kind of that throws up a red flag to me that at least the Colts brass is like.
I saw a rumor that said that Russell Wilson's not expected to be back with the team. But my thing is if Fields is expected to be a free agent and Russell Wilson is not expected to be back with the team, who are they going to have? First off, right?
I don't give a shit.
You got to keep somebody. Well, the only reason I say that is to tie into this because I've heard a lot of things about, the Colts should bring in Justin Fields to compete with Anthony Richardson, which would make sense because if you're going to build a team around Anthony Richardson, you want somebody with similar skill set. At this point, I think Justin Fields is a better passing quarterback than Anthony Richardson. He may not have the arm that Richardson does. I think his accuracy is better. But Russell Wilson, I don't know if you bring in a Russell Wilson. We keep bringing in the old guys and stuff like that. And yeah, he looked okay with the Steelers. I don't think Russell Wilson is that. He can come in. He's just be another Joe Flacco in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
We've already done that.
Yeah. I don't.
You can draft a late guy in like the third or fourth round, like we did in our mock draft. I get it; it's fake. It's a mock draft, stuff like that. You can go get a guy like that. Was it Jackson Dart? Is that who you drafted? Who we drafted in that episode? But you can go get a guy late like that.
Go watch our last episode, and you'll tell us.
Yeah, we had a fun time on that. That was cool. Yeah, you definitely took me by surprise on that. You didn't let your boy down.
Yeah,
but
what we're gonna do to end the show? Mock draft.
Mock draft. I love mock drafts. Evaluating mock drafts, doing mock drafts. I love that stuff. But that goes to show that, like, looking at some of the mock drafts that other sites, like the big guys have done, like Mel Kiper puts out his mock drafts. He puts about 4 or 5 of them off season. Looking at where they expect players to go. Now, this is pre-combine, okay? So let's not get ahead of ourselves because some of these guys we like, they might suck it up in the combine. But then again, I don't like putting too much stock in the combine because we've seen what they can do on the football field in pads.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care if you run, he ran a tenth slower in the 40 than we expected. Yeah, but look at him in pads. Nobody could touch him.
I'll say that most of their evaluation, and for the most part, they probably know where they're going in the draft, where they're at, what they're looking for. The combine probably doesn't really tell them a whole lot. I do think that when you have someone that comes in like Anthony Richardson, who didn't play a lot in college, and then has the combine that he has, he probably really swayed the Colts with his just athletic output in the combine. But I think for the most part, they don't buy a whole lot into it. Like, yeah, we want to see how fast he can run, but it's without pads. When they jump, it's without pads. Like, it's
right.
I think when they
do the drills, like the reception drills and stuff like that, make them wear a helmet because they're going to catch the ball in a helmet.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I just think that they put too much stock in this stuff. Like, it's easy to catch a ball with brand new gloves that have no sweat on them and then no helmet.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm saying easy in regards to their skill set, right? Because you and I ain't going out there running a go route. Like, we're not doing that. We're old guys now, but that's what I'm talking about.
my knees would be popping way too much.
Oh no, I probably pull both hamstrings.
Well, I know Curtis wants us. I think around combine time, he wanted to see how many people we could get together. So like you, me, and I can't. God, why is his name fading on me? He's on the Texans podcast. But we'd all get together and we'd record each other doing a 40-yard dash. timing it.
Oh God!
I know that was his idea around combine time for us to try and get together one day, and all of us run a 40. I'm like, all right.
I'd be down for it. At least good thing is I'm around coaching with sports, so at least I have like that, And I was a somewhat decent athlete back in the day, but we're talking about 20 years ago, though.
Yeah.
Gosh, I could imagine my players wanting to watch me run a 40-yard dash. They would laugh their butt off, man.
The 40-yard
trot. Yes, that's exactly what it would be.
The 40-yard gasp.
I could fall down every 40-yard dash the rest of my life, and it still wouldn't be as embarrassing as Duval.
I don't know how he did his eyebrows to do it. It was bizarre.
Yeah, I don't think the face is those muscles aren't supposed to work that way.
His jaw contorted and his eyebrows out of sync. It was the wackiest. It was like some AI shit.
Eric's so mad we're talking about Liam Cohen again.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's even laughing about it. I don't know how you can defend it.
We love you.
It was so terrible.
Hey, that would be cool. That would be cool. I mean, that definitely makes for some good shorts or TikTok clips for sure. So I'm gonna try not to hurt myself too bad.
It would really just be a bunch of people ragging. I'm like, who's this fat ass trying to run a 40?
Yeah. I don't think I would feel right wearing any Colts gear doing that. I don't want to disrespect the organization that way. Not that I'm trying to make the roster. I just don't want to represent the Colts like, oh, look what their fan is. Their fan is twisted his ankle coming off the starting blocks. Hey, but you know what?
I'm starting to warm up and you just hear the snap, crackle, pops.
I've seen some of them Cowboys fans. They got some big old boys out there.
Yeah. But yeah,
we got some good stuff to look forward to. I like that maybe Anthony's gonna work with the same guy that helped out Josh Allen, because that's phenomenal, man. But I don't know. I think Anthony's got some good qualities and good tendencies, and for Ballard to come out in his postseason, I can't say postseason, we didn't make postseason, but his after crappy season conference, to say that he does still have faith in Anthony Richardson. It did seem like his words were a little cryptic, like he was picking them very carefully in case he had to throw Anthony under the bus at a later time. So he thought about those very carefully. He was very meticulous in what he was saying.
I don't trust really anything that this organization says at this point. Like, Shane Steichen flip-flop so much. He's our starting quarterback, and then the next day, he's benched.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Joe Flacco's our quarterback going forward, and then the next day, Anthony Richards.
Right.
What are we fucking doing?
I get you want to have a strong front and support your starting quarterback, especially this guy that you drafted early, right? It's not like this is our second round quarterback. No. This was a early first round pick. And you don't want to have egg on your face. Yeah. And I get it. I get it, right? Everybody has an ego to an extent, and then no one wants to be wrong to an extent. I get it. But Chris Ballard, you need to seriously go all in. You already messed up not getting Robert Saleh. That's strike one, brother. That's strike one. Actually, I ain't gonna call you brother. You ain't earned that. That's strike one. So hopefully you don't have another strike two. Okay.
I don't. He's had a lot of strikes. I've been over it. I think Latu showed a lot of potential. I think Adonai Mitchell has the potential, but he had a bad rookie year. He just did. And beyond that, there were 3 of his other draft picks that didn't even make the roster. He was coming off almost a playoff season, regressed. His draft was not good. And I like I said, I can't justify Ballard being here after how this whole last season went, going from the draft until now.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the Jaguars fired Balky. I mean, for whatever reason they kept him, but Ballard shouldn't be here either. He really shouldn't. And the only saving grace is you can look at a team like the Saints, who have been not good, and they're in cap hell. I think they're like 60 million over cap right now.
Dude,
I don't know how you get
pretty
there.
sure. So the Taysom Hill thing, they kept kicking that can down the road, and they kept increasing him. Somehow they kept increasing his money. Like, first off, you should have took the hit and said, okay, look, we messed up. We need to cut it. Like, Taysom Hill is a great utility knife, right? I get it.
You don't pay him that kind of money.
But no, you don't pay him. You don't. There's a guy like Taysom Hill that you can find in the draft about every other year.
Yeah.
I get it. He knows the offense. I think him and Sean Payton were just boys. Honestly, I think they were just tight. Which I get it, man. You want people around you. That's why Brady always brought his guys around. You see the Patriots organization, they got their little clique back together with Josh McDaniels being the OC now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I get it. And it's a good old boy league. It's stupid that it's like that, but that's the world, though. I mean, if you got a job at ESPN tomorrow, I have all the faith that you'd be like, hey, talk to my boy Justin. Get him over. He's good.
I know this guy over here.
And the same thing, I would look out for you. So I get it. It's how the world works, right? Yeah. It's growing up, we called it a hookup, Mm-hmm. I mean, I ain't mad at it, but
whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll leave the Super Bowl for the end of the show. We got to talk Hall of Fame, and
we have to.
I mean, we do. I'm not mad about Josh Allen. Like, I've spent my fair share of time shitting on Josh Allen. He's a red zone turnover machine, and you can't say those same complaints this year. He had a lot less to work with and had a much better year than he's ever had.
So I can't that MVP.
I can't complain about it. Can't argue it. I think you could make a strong argument for someone like Saquon Barkley. Maybe he should have been, a strong contender. You can make a strong argument for it.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles did him a disservice by not having him play the final week, at least for, like, I get why they didn't. There was no reason to play.
Right.
There just wasn't.
Other than the rushing record, right? Yeah. That's it. That's really the only thing. Save him for the playoffs. I get it. I'm with you, bro. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, with MVP though, like I was a huge supporter of Saquon Barkley winning MVP. But if you take Saquon off the Eagles are still a pretty damn good team, with him off of it. Now, they're not in the Super Bowl without Saquon Barkley, right? Let's just be very clear about that. The Eagles are not in the Super Bowl without Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. But if you take Josh Allen off the Bills, the trash. Bills don't exist.
Yeah.
You take Lamar off of the Ravens, we saw they were good with Tyler Huntley last year.
Yeah, and now they added Derrick Henry.
And they added Derrick Henry, exactly. So the Ravens will still be okay.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
But you take Josh Allen off the Bills, that's an MVP. When you are your team,
Like, he had, Kincaid? And I do like Cook as a running back, but I don't know if he's, like, up there in that top, he's definitely one of the better backs in the NFL, but not like whatever. And Kincaid, I don't think he's like the best. He's a really good tight end, but I don't think he's the best.
No.
So, and beyond that, it's like he really didn't have anyone to throw to.
Well, and I think we talked about that on the last show was the last show or anyways, whatever. So that's a lack of scheme in Buffalo, is they're not scheming the passing game. They're focusing on the running game and then passing whenever they have to.
Yeah.
If Josh Allen, like, that dude's got a cannon, man. I don't think there's a stronger arm in the NFL than Josh Allen. But with that being said, dude, you drafted Keon Coleman this year. Love Keon Coleman. He was a stud. I think he can be very good if you use him. Dalton Kincaid, super athletic tight end. Yep. He can be one of the best in the league if you use him. Okay. They just saw a guy that there wasn't their star player by any means in McKenzie. Or no, Shakir. I'm sorry, Khalil Shakir. I'm thinking Isaiah McKenzie. But in Khalil Shakir, if he can do that, you need to get the rest of those weapons involved and stop just using James Cook and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Like, give the man a break because his battery is low come playoff time because he's been carrying that team all year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, his shoulders have got to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah. Imagine, I think the passing game is the
Carrying this
only
team.
thing that's keeping the Bills from beating the Chiefs. They had the Chiefs number, but they were passing a little more. They would have won it by a touchdown and a half,
Yeah.
or maybe a field goal.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah, probably. So snubs, man. I don't know how the best player at his position ever doesn't go in the Hall of Fame.
Who are we
Eli
talking
Manning.
about?
No, I'm kidding. I knew Eli Manning wouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No.
I will say he will be in the Hall of Fame. We've been over this in the past on past episodes. I don't know if you I don't think you agreed. I think he's a Hall of
Hopefully
Famer.
in the far future.
Yeah.
The far future.
He'll be a
Because you
Hall of
don't
Famer.
let Eli in before you let Tom in.
You know,
I mean, I get it. We still got some
yeah.
time to wait for Tom, but I don't
Yeah.
think you let Eli in before you let Tom in. That doesn't work that way.
Yeah, he'll get it. I never once said he was a first ballot Hall of Famer, though. But Adam Vinatieri
The GOAT.
should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Whenever you think of who's the best kicker ever in the NFL, the first answer is Vinatieri. And then you can start running off Justin Tucker. You can start running off like Gostkowski. You could there are a lot of really great kickers, but when you think GOAT, this dude won fucking Super Bowls with his leg.
Yep.
And he did the shit in snow. I remember there was like a 50-yarder in snow. It was ridiculous, wind blowing in his face, and he drained it. Like he is the best ever at his position, and for him not to get in the NFL or to the Hall of Fame, I bullshit. And I had Reggie Wayne this year. I can kind of understand him not getting in with the class that was there, except for maybe Sterling Sharp. But last year he should have been in. I did not like that Devin Hester got in above Reggie Wayne, and people were like, well, he was the best at his position too. I'm like, but how many kicks do you actually return? And yes, he was the best kick returner.
Yeah.
But the impact in games that he had was minimal. I mean, he returned a kick for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and they lost.
In the rain to the opening kickoff. So
he
was the first person to ever do that. And they lost, yes. But they had Rex Grossman, dude.
Still. That's the impact that I'm talking about on a game. How many games were won because of Adam Vinatieri's leg?
All of the Super Bowls he was a part of.
Just about, yeah. And how many games were really lost because of his leg? Not many.
Fat zero.
Except for maybe at the end of his career with the Colts.
Yeah, if we're talking about a 40 plus, like we're talking about gray hair Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Yeah. Father Time is undefeated. Okay, let's be real about that.
Yeah.
Even Peyton Manning, the great sheriff, showed signs of weakness at the end. But at least Peyton knew when to hang it up. Right. Let's be fair about that.
His last season for Peyton Manning was rough. Watching some of those ducks come out, it was like, bro.
That
I love Peyton Manning, but this dude is cooked.
Yeah. All the greats do it. Ben Roethlisberger was cooked, right? And that's what made Najee Harris so great, because all he was doing was shut down, because he knew he didn't have the arm. Everybody does it. Matt Ryan, former MVP Matt Ryan, same thing. Dude just got old. You know, sadly enough, we're all human beings. We don't live forever. These guys get old. So if you want to say, oh, well, Adam Vinatieri and this year didn't do well, bro, what about the 30 years before that?
20-something years.
I'm not joking about 30, but look at the whole resume, and then come back and talk to me and say he should be first ballot Hall of Famer. He's I don't think there's a way you can argue that he's not the best kicker of all time.
No, he definitely should have gotten in as first ballot. And that's just not being bad. He was a Patriot. If he had been a Patriot his entire career, I'd still say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due and be unbiased. And Adam Vinatieri, whether you're a Colts fan, Patriots fan, whatever fan of the team, of whatever team you are, Adam Vinatieri should be the top of that kickers list.
Yeah. If you're the greatest player at your position of all time, you should not be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And for Reggie Wayne, he should have been in last year. And I I get it with this class again, except maybe, Sterling Sharp. I feel like they just wanted to push that first brothers to be in the Hall of Fame together. I feel like they wanted to push that narrative, but Reggie Wayne should have been in last year. Vinatieri should have been a first ballot this year. I don't agree with it. I think Vinatieri was an awful snub.
Totally a snub, man. Like, so Pro Football Network, they have the top 10 best quarterback wide receiver tandems of all time. Okay. So coming in at number 10, Tom Brady, Julian Edelman. 9, Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne is in the top 10 of best quarterback wide receiver duos of all time.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? You can't even say, oh, he had Peyton Manning. So they let Marvin Harrison in the Hall of Fame. He had Peyton Manning.
Wasn't he like
1 or 2 years?
Isn't he like number 2 on the list? Isn't Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison
Reggie
like 2 or 3
Wayne was
on the
even
list?
productive with another quarterback outside Peyton Manning. You had, and yes, it's Andrew Luck. I get it, but he still did it with different quarterbacks. Okay, yeah. But I'm with you, bro. Reggie Wayne got robbed. Okay,
yeah,
they had room to put more players in. They put 4 players in the Hall of Fame this year. 4. Come on, man.
Vinatieri 5, Reggie Wayne. Like, I don't know. I can't understand Vinatieri not being in. That's fucking crazy to me.
Reggie Wayne's probably the fourth. He's definitely top 5 most popular Colt of all time.
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
And they take things like that into account too, of Hall of Fame, like impact on the team, not just stats. Like, yeah, stats are important. Obviously, Super Bowls are important. Blah 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 blah. But it's also impact that a player makes on the team. This dude is still with the franchise. Like, he's our wide receivers coach. Like, he's a huge part of the Colts community. Like, he is that influential. Right. Like, Marvin Harrison was a player and done.
Not only did he produce for the team, he's trying to help others produce for the future of the team.
Yeah.
So
like, I'm not shitting
Jim
on Harrison.
Should be on the phone with the Hall of Fame, just cussing them out. 1, Vinatieri, and then 2, Reggie Wayne.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. And there's other Colts that deserve to be in there, which haven't been there. But you know what? But that's based on stats. All right. Let's just. Anyways, all right. I'm getting so
we go on and on
about this. I'm so upset about the Hall of Fame inductions and the snubs this year. Yeah. The only thing I agree with is Eli Manning not getting in. I mean, he shouldn't have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's fair. Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that can say that he should have been.
I mean, the arguments you can make are probably from Colts fans, and well, he beat Tom Brady twice, so that should be fair. But I'm like, I get that argument. He is a 2-time Super Bowl champ, and he is 10th all time in like yards and touchdowns. So I know he'll be in the Hall of Fame, and I don't know if it'll be next year or a couple of years down the road, but he will get into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did play a long time, and he didn't miss. He didn't miss a lot of time for injury, but that helps a lot with those numbers.
I think he had like the longest start streak. It was crazy.
Yeah, they had to forcefully hold him off the field, and that's what cost him his streak.
I really thought that they were just going to have him come out on the first play of that game, hand off the ball, and then bang the rest of the game just so we get the start.
Yeah. And you know what? So, Eric, what you're saying, that's the biggest argument. He beat Brady twice. I have a counter to that. So, quarterbacks do not play quarterbacks. Quarterbacks play defenses. So, he beat some good defenses. Let's not beat around the bush on that.
He beat some Bill Belichick defenses.
Right, but he didn't beat Tom Brady. He beat Belichick's defenses.
Yeah.
That Tom Brady was the captain of that team of.
But
so that's my kind of devil's advocate to that argument, I guess, if you will.
10th in passing yards all time and 10th in touchdowns all time.
Right.
There are some people that are lower than 10th and in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
That's
my argument.
Me, Eli's legacy is inconsistency. He was always known like, okay, what Eli are we getting today? Right? If that is your legacy, you don't belong in the Hall of Fame, even if you do have 2 Super Bowls. Hey, there's guys that have Super Bowls, that have Super Bowl wins that don't.
Wasn't he like 9-7 and 8-8 the 2 times they went to the Super Bowl and won?
They barely made it, but they got hot. Once you get the playoffs, the season starts all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be fair about that. Just making the playoffs, that's all it takes. Anybody can get hot at the right time, and that's usually what it amounts to is getting hot at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Super Bowl. How are we feeling?
So there's a couple different things that I could talk about the Super Bowl, but I'm going for the Eagles. So fly Eagles fly. I think it's time. I don't buy into the whole Patrick Mahomes era and all this stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of a pun to Taylor Swift, and I think is era the name of her album or her tour or is there a song?
Oh, I don't
But I
give a
know
shit.
era. There's something about era that with Taylor Swift because they've been talking about it and stuff. But anyways, I'm not big on that. I think the Eagles. We want to see a new champion. Yeah, the Eagles won not too long ago. I get it, but after the season that Barkley's had, this will just be the icing on the cake. And I was big on the Lions winning the Super Bowl because they've never won before. Okay.
Yeah.
And the Lions, Jay, just have everything going right. They've come up from the soggy mud to become a darling story and a team that everybody loves watching.
Yeah.
I mean, their offense is
They're a lot
amazing.
of
Ben
fun to watch.
Johnson did phenomenal with that offense.
Yeah.
And I think the Bears, because Ben Johnson went to the Bears. I think the Bears offense could be something to watch.
Yeah.
If it was all Ben Johnson, right? But let's be fair. Also, the Lions had a lot of good talent on that team. But yes, I'm going with the Eagles because I want to see somebody else other than Chiefs, and I don't want to sound like a Chiefs hater, but I just don't think they're the best team. They've had a lot of lucky breaks.
I think they were one of, and I think I actually said this, and y'all can fight with me, scream at me. I might even make this little clip of short. I think the Chiefs are the worst team to make the Super Bowl since the Bears Rex Grossman.
Yeah, this is not the Chiefs that we're used to seeing.
Mm-mm.
Like the past two that they've won, the Chiefs rightfully should have won that. They were the dominant team, right? And all season they were a dominant team. But this
except
year,
against the Colts, they can't. You can't beat the Colts. So
does
hang our
that
banner.
mean we're the champ? If we beat the Colts, this and that, that means the Colts are the
Super Bowl champs. Ta-da. No, we can hang our banner for at least we beat the Chiefs.
What's sad is that's probably the only banner that we could have earned this season is we beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. It's I mean it's a small consolation prize for being otherwise very mid.
The Chiefs just got so lucky this year.
Okay, look, I'm not saying that the NFL is scripted, but if I had to put money on one thing, and that's if the Chiefs win, that there's going to be some kind of goddamn proposal from Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. He's going to have it on the stage. It's going to happen. It is. I would put money on it. I'd take whatever odds on it. If this shit is actually rigged in the Chiefs, that's what's going to happen. Like it's becoming like a freaking movie. And that's the whole reason I'm going for the Eagles. Like they're setting up for the Chiefs to win. I don't know, man. If the Chiefs win, that's what's going to happen. And I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Like he catches a negative 3-yard pass and they just pan to her celebrating for some reason. And I just hate how this shit has become so manufactured in the NFL. Like it's to grow the audience. I know what they're doing. We're not stupid.
Yeah.
But there was
and it's a business too, and you want to do what's best for business. If you're about making money, you got to look at what makes money.
But there was I think it was the last playoff game for the Chiefs, and for some reason, Taylor Swift is in the booth with Caitlin Clark. Like Caitlin Clark just came out of college women's basketball into the WNBA, so she's like what 22 or some shit. I haven't looked her up, but
super young.
Like Taylor Swift is, billionaire music, pop star, whatever. I don't understand it. Like her music isn't good, but they're from two completely different planets, and they're in the booth like they're BFFs. Like these two have nothing to do with each other.
That's just the league putting popular faces next to each other to get viewership.
Yeah,
and it goes back to what I said about being a business.
I hate that manufactured shit. I hate that manufactured shit. I hate it.
Yep.
Like these two have no business being it. Like even Taylor Swift being with Travis Kelce, it just feels so like just commercial. I hate it. I hate it so much. Oh man. Holy shit. Mock draft. Oh.
Bro, no.
Do you have mock draft? Huh? What are you doing? Oh damn, it's already 10:40. So obviously we're slamming along with going into the off season. The next big thing I think we have is what, combine.
Yeah, we got combine coming up, and I cannot wait.
There's off season stuff which doesn't have me excited because it's Chris Ballard.
But he said he's going to go all in, man.
He said that the last 3 years, and he's done nothing.
Then he hires Lou Anarumo.
Lou Anarumo for
Yeah, we got the combine coming up on the 24th of February. Yeah. So we'll be able to see a lot of these prospects that we need to be looking at with the 14th overall pick. That's definitely something that we need to look at. From just to give people a little taste of one of the future episodes coming out is a handful of these analysts are mocking Tyler Warren to the Colts. But my fear is if you do draft a Tyler Warren at 14, he's just going to rot like Dalton Kincaid. He's not going to be used. Because look at now, don't get me wrong, Tyler Warren could walk in today at 20, 21 years, however old he is, a kid, and be the best tight end in the room and easily. Like, it wouldn't even be close. But if you don't throw him the ball, then he's not good at anything. Just running routes. Like, you don't want to be the best route runner if you don't catch the ball or if the ball's not thrown to you. So
I think they could probably get someone like, because Kyle Pitts really hasn't done anything since he came out. I don't know if it's just like the Falcon system, but he's a very athletic,
had a really good rookie year. But outside of that,
I feel like you could get him cheap. Like, I feel like you could make a trade for him that's relatively cheap and keep that 14th pick and get a corner.
Hear me out on this. Tell me if I'm crazy or not. And chat, I'd like to hear your input on this as well. So Kyle Pitts, you probably could get him for cheap, like you said. If we're also looking for a serviceable quarterback, what stops Chris Ballard from picking up the phone to Atlanta and saying, hey, you pay a lot of the Kirk Cousins money, and we can make a trade for Kirk Cousins and Kyle Pitts?
Stop. No more.
No? I mean, does that sound crazy?
No more.
Now, I'm with you. The old backup quarterback experiment. I'm with you on that. Yeah, let's kill that. But I don't know, man.
Because I know that as soon as Anthony Richardson has like a bad game, we need to start Kirk Cousins, and then he's going to come out and Flacco it up, and it's
or Matt Ryan it up,
or Matt Ryan
could be worse.
Just like pass.
Fair enough.
Like, if we're going to get a quarterback, like you said, like, let's get somebody young like Fields, or let's pick up someone like the 3rd or 4th round. Just have some young competition. But
I think Fields would be one exciting addition. Fans will get excited about that. So if you are Chris Ballard, I think Fields is somebody you consider, because
the same style play.
Again, you could get him for cheap. He's not in high demand. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's going to be teams going after him. I'm not saying that at all. But it's not like he's just this huge free agent coming out that everybody's going to be bidding for.
And that's the biggest thing here is, and I think the biggest problem that they've had, Anthony Richardson was with Minshew, right?
Yeah.
2 very different quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So Colts become one-dimensional. Everybody focuses on JT. The pass doesn't do very well.
Right.
You did the same thing with Joe Flacco. Very different player than Anthony Richardson. Very different.
Yeah.
You become one-dimensional again. If he gets hurt, which he's been prone to do, it would be nice to have someone like Fields who is similar skill set. So if you're going to do that, don't bring in another old man Rivers. Don't bring in Matt Ryan. Don't the veterans get to just stop it.
Yeah. If
Stop
you're
it.
trying to build a team for the future, you don't bring in those guys. You bring in those guys when you're ready to win a Super Bowl next year. If you say one of our biggest missing pieces is a game winning backup quarterback,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't do that. You
Mhm.
don't do that. But no, I just figured I'd throw that out there, kind of see where you in the chat line and
Yeah.
what y'all would think about that. To get a
They
Kyle Pitts as well, because I like
yeah.
your idea with Kyle Pitts. I think that could be a great addition. One, because we know in the league it takes about 4 or 5 years for these tight ends to really, really get a feel for the game. Kyle Pitts came in and had 1,000-yard rookie year. Okay, but after that, he's done nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, even with help, a good passing quarterback. Cousins wasn't bad, right? Penix came in, and Penix is going to be the future of that franchise. I like Michael Penix. I think he's a very good quarterback.
This motherfucker said Mac Jones.
Hey, no. You don't put that evil up in here. Okay, you keep that stuff out of here. Don't you put that
Shoot you
evil
out of
on me.
here.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. But dang
That shit
it,
out of here.
Eric. That's funny. Hey, y'all didn't want him for a reason, remember?
Yeah. And then we will obviously do draft previews. We're gonna have a lot of stuff coming up where we're gonna do more mock drafts, stuff like that. Just fun little activities leading up to combine draft. And we'll try to mix it up. I know we'll probably try to do some more complex one where we do some trade arounds. I know we've played around with that last year. I did some outlandish trades that obviously didn't happen. Ballard typically doesn't do stuff like that unless if it's trading back. I was very critical of him in this last draft for not giving up some of that mid-round capital to come back up into the second to grab one of those corners in Cooper DeJean, or I was not happy about that. And then to find out that those mid-round picks weren't even with the team anyway, so they didn't matter. It would have been nice to have him move up there. But that's all stuff that we're going to be talking about in future episodes. And, of course, the draft. God, when is it?
The draft is going to be April 24th.
April 24th.
And I fully intend on doing a watch-along and reaction to that.
We do every year.
So we might invite a couple extra guests if you don't mind.
Yeah.
The draft. So I always took off work for the draft.
I don't know if we're gonna, because I know on this AFC South show is typically where we've done the watch along. So I don't know if we're gonna do it on separate shows, or if we're all gonna do it on this AFC South show. I don't know how we're gonna do this. I really don't
know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll see a lot of stuff coming up because with free agency, the new league year is going to start on March 12th. So that's going to be kind of exciting to see. That's when Ballard's really going to, put up or shut up. If we're really going to see if he's going to do what he said he was going to do, March 12th at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, Chris Ballard is going to be able to finally show us whether or not he is going to do what he said he's going to do, or if he's just all talk. Because as of right now, he's been all talk. Okay.
I've got no expectation or faith that he's going to be like. And I'm not saying this to say that I hope he goes like full Ryan Grayson. That's not what I'm saying. Like just spend money on retarded contracts. That's not what I'm saying. I do hope that if there's like a really good corner out there, a really good safety, spend the money. Like, take the chance, bring him in. I'm not saying to go and bring in spend retarded money on like an Andre Johnson who's already don't be the Titans and go and bring in Cooper Kupp. Like, that's not what I'm talking about.
No.
Like, would I want Cooper Kupp from 5 years ago? Fuck yes. Do I want injury prone Cooper Kupp? No, he's Titans bait.
Receivers should be the last position we're looking for.
Yeah.
And for some of the people out there, this might sound crazy, but other Colts podcasts, why are you saying that we need a better running back outside Jonathan Taylor? Backup, yes.
I wouldn't mind it.
Don't say that we need somebody that can compete for starting touches. Guys, what are you talking about here?
If we can get a system like Detroit has with their running backs, I'm not opposed to it. There's a really good second round running back, and we could have a situation like Detroit has.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it.
No, not at all. But you don't bring
that,
in a guy to say, oh, well, this guy could compete for the starting job.
and see,
No, you bring in a compliment back. You don't bring another guy that's good. Like, let's say Najee Harris, he's going to be a free agent, right? Like, at this point in his career, he's kind of fallen off a little bit, but maybe that next team will rejuvenate him. He's not the guy you bring in because he's going to expect to be the starter.
Yeah.
That's not the guy you bring in.
No.
Okay. So all the other guys out there that are trying to say that stuff, guys, come on, man. No. Let's be real. Let's not do that. That's not what's best for this team right now. You need a complimentary back, somebody that can be somebody in 2 years.
I wasn't being realistic about it, but we all knew the Titans were letting Derrick Henry walk, and I was like, man, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I speculated, what if the Colts brought in Derrick Henry?
Yeah,
like that shit would be fun. Never gonna it was never gonna happen, but that would have been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't mind it if that was like, I keep saying that Derrick Henry's getting older, but like he doesn't show it. So
he's had one of his best seasons. Yeah. But that goes to show, and same with Saquon Barkley. Like they go from a team where they just feel burnout, and now they're with a team and they get rejuvenated.
Yeah.
I mean, your attitude, and I say this to a lot of my players, is your attitude will reflect how you perform. Mm-hmm. If you show up to work and you're like, I don't want to be here, this and that, like, then you're not going to perform that well.
And that's my issue that I'm having right now with the Colts. Like we all know they're a small market team. We understand this. We know this.
Yeah.
There's other financial issues, state taxes, shit like that. That's kind of pushes players away from coming to Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. And the biggest draw was, we had Peyton Manning. The fuck wouldn't want to play with them? Like they're perennial playoff team, Super Bowl contender. Andrew Luck, same thing. Like perennial playoffs. It's just.
Lots of hype around those players.
There was at least a draw. Like right now, it's like, man, is Anthony Richardson the guy? Most people on the outside are like, probably not. I mean, he's athletic as all hell, but and there's just not anything really that's like intriguing. Like we're kind of in that situation with Jacksonville where he had to way overspend on someone like Christian Kirk, who didn't really deserve that kind of money.
No,
and that's
not
kind
at
of
all.
And that's kind of what Ballard has built here. He was hoping that all of his draft picks would turn into these superstars.
Yeah.
And some of them hit, but not enough to build a Super Bowl team. And it's not enough to draw anybody here. So now we're in a position where you have to spend and hope that they deliver. It's he's put himself between a rock and a hard place. And I don't like the chances of, I really want the Colts to succeed. I'm going to watch them every game. I've done it every year. I'm just not optimistic right now that they're going to be able to turn that corner with Ballard. I'm just the draw for free agents just isn't here.
No, I'm with you. Which is crazy because we have some decent ones coming out, and like I said, I can't wait to break this down because, like, I got a long list here of people that would, and I only wrote down players of positions that we need. I'm not going to focus on, this defensive end is available or this wide receiver could be available. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. Like positions that we have shored up, why would you want to go sign somebody? Why would we want to go get like Odell Beckham or Deontay Johnson or something like that, or try and spend a bunch of money for T. Higgins? We don't need that.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to spend that money in other places. So there's some really good secondary pieces that we can bring in that would help us a lot. And like I said, I cannot wait to talk about that. So everybody in the chat, like if you got people that like free agency, let them know we are going to be talking about some big time names that could be coming to Indianapolis, and they don't want to miss that because these are some impressive names.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's Ballard.
Chris Ballard. What was it? His list of nothing, like do nothing.
Yeah. So can I sign them at league minimum? Ooh.
No. Like you're not going to get with the chance of some of our linemen leaving, you're not going to go out and get a Zach Martin for league minimum. Not happening. Not happening.
No. So, and again, this is not Indianapolis is not a large desirable destination. It's not like going to Miami or whatever. It's just not oh, I can't wait to vacation in Indianapolis. Like
It's a football
I
destination.
I haven't. I mean, the actual facilities, the stadium, it's an incredible host to events. Like there are draws for fans. There are reasons to host stuff in Indianapolis, but it's like I've never been like, man. So do I want to go to do I want to go to Pensacola? Do I want to go to whatever, or Indianapolis? Like no one has ever pondered that as a city outside of
that's why the Jets and Giants and the 49ers and the Chargers, like all these, and in Miami, like you get all these impressive places because they're impressive cities and locations. So yeah, but if you want top of the line facility, ownership that's not going to be bugging you all the time, I mean and a city that is going to treat you like a superhero. Because I mean, look what Pat McAfee's done, right? And I know that's an outlier, right? But you don't think DeForest Buckner goes in the city of Indianapolis and people aren't just loving on that dude, like trying to buy him lunch or just praising him? Like the dude is a hometown hero right now. I get it. He didn't get drafted here, right? But DeForest Buckner has become part of this city. Same thing with the Jonathan Taylor, right? Yeah. These guys are heroes here. If Jonathan Taylor walks around the city of Los Angeles, probably 2 people in a couple days would recognize him, right? The city of Indianapolis, you come here, you are cherished, all right? Especially if you come here and help us win, you're immortal.
Yeah. But like I was saying,
Adam Vinatieri.
It's really hard now that there's not really a winning culture in Indianapolis. Like we're all in. Well, it's good to say it, but
yeah, those are words at this point.
Yeah. How are we all in? Like, what are you even talking about?
So when free agency starts and the new league year starts, Chris Ballard, that is your opportunity to show every Colts fan that you are serious and not full of hot air, bro. You need to make that happen.
I really wish that he would have came out in his presser and been like, you know what? I said this. I was wrong. I fucked up. I didn't get there was something that I needed to address and didn't, and that's not going to happen again. I would have bought back into it. And right now I don't know why he wasn't fired.
Yeah. In that press conference, it looked like he just walked out of the Irsay's office and they just read him the rights and said, this is your last chance. Cause you could see it all over his face. There was no arrogance there. It was just straight humility, just somber. It was very somber. If the dude, this is last year, if he don't do something in free agency, hopefully it's not like a do something, bring in T. Higgins situation. We don't need.
Oh, well, we signed a guy to our practice squad. I don't know what more you want me to do.
Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be March 12th at 3 p.m. Central Time. I will probably be live reacting to that, anticipating the Colts to bring in some relevant players that can help our team.
And I just feel like we're just going to be sitting here like this. Come on, bro.
Waiting.
Come on, dude.
5 hours later.
Log off.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting because you got that tampering period now. So agents can talk to the teams and all that stuff. So there's going to be rumors out there. Right. So there's certain guys out there on Twitter and stuff like that are going to break the news early. Oh, this player is expected to sign here. So we'll have a kind of an idea. But until that ink is on that paper, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So just ask Liam Cohen. It don't matter until that ink's on that paper.
No, Jesus.
Josh McDaniels. Remember Josh McDaniels? Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget that dude. That dude can burn, man.
I would say it's for the best, but we got fucking Frank. It didn't matter. It really didn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I think either way it would have worked out the way it did because Josh McDaniels has proven time and time again he's not head coach material. Yeah. He's not, and that's fine. Some guys just aren't meant to be head coaches. Head coach is different because now you're in charge of the whole team, not just one aspect of the team.
Yeah.
So, and I'm of the believer that Shane Steichen is that. He's a great offensive coordinator, just not that great of a head coach. But that's why we should have brought Robert Saleh in.
Yep.
Which Robert Saleh took a job as a defensive coordinator, not a head coach. So it's not like the man was out there wanting to be a head coach. Well, he was. But we could have got him as a defensive coordinator because that's where he's at now. So,
yeah,
Chris Ballard.
I told him,
man.
Well, he said, I'm all in. I want to do this. Robert Saleh would have been probably your best option at defensive coordinator. And then he signed with the 49ers as a defensive coordinator.
And possible future head coach. Like that would have been the biggest selling aspect on the side outside of, after Shane leaves the room, right? But hey, just so you know, if this don't work out, you're first in line to be head coach. When we let Shane go at week 3, Shane's out of here. You're the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell him that, Robert Saleh signs that document right there. He is your defensive coordinator.
I don't think the Colts even interviewed him.
They didn't.
Mm-mm.
I don't understand that. You have a top prospect who Robert Saleh should have been the head coach. The fact that he's not a head coach right now, I don't understand. Maybe it's personal choice, and if that's fine, I respect his wishes. If he said, hey, I'm not ready to jump back into that. Because from what we watch on Hard Knocks and all that stuff like that and all these documentaries, being a head coach in the NFL is a very hard job.
Mm.
So if it was his choice to just be a coordinator, brother, you could have came and been a coordinator for us. And then whenever you were ready, we could have fired Shane and let you take the reins.
Yeah.
But the fact that they didn't do that, Chris Ballard, shame on you.
Yeah. I'm all in, but Nah, I'm gonna get this other Gus Bradley.
Yeah, he's all in a clown car.
Jesus Christ.
That's what he's all inside of.
We held him hostage in Jacksonville.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I don't know. Jacksonville's got a pretty weak resume when it comes to coaching right now. Not a lot of NFL experience down there. I don't see it. I don't know if some of these pros and veterans are going to respect that. It's like, because some of these guys have been in the NFL longer than you have. Like, how are they going to respect a head coach that hasn't been in the NFL longer than them?
And his tenure at places is always very short.
Very short. Yeah.
Just Duval with his eyebrows. I don't know.
That was the weird thing.
It was horrible. We started off the show for like 20 minutes on it, but it was. I don't see it. I don't see how this guy is going to be like, you know what? Super Bowl bound, baby. I don't see it. Like, I'm not saying that it can't happen, but slim.
Well, and even the guy he brought in, what was his first hire or I don't know if it was his first hire, but he brought in a guy that he coached with before. Very weak resume. Very, very weak resume. Eric, dude, he gave us the content for free, bro. Like, if you want the likes, that's the one you get. You hit that dude. Oh.
Hold on. That shit. That was some glitter kitty shit.
Yeah. So the Jags hired the Vikings. This is the last position this guy held as their offensive coordinator. Okay, their new offensive coordinator. He was the Vikings assistant QB coach, not the QB coach, the assistant QB coach, who has probably less time in the NFL than Liam Cohen does. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on down in Duval County and those Jaguars. But
I'm trying to figure out how he contorted his jaw, raised his eyebrow, and I don't know how he did it. It was
I don't know. I can't physically do that, or else I'd try. But I'm not a robot, so I'm not built that way.
It was some like Jim Carrey face contorting shit. Like it was the most bizarre thing that I've ever seen. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think Jim Carrey is the only other person that could do that. But at least Jim Carrey's funny when he does. Like if Jim Carrey said that, we'd be laughing. Liam Cohen says that, and we're like hiding our kids.
Yeah. Hey kids, Duval. Like get the. Ugh.
Yeah. Well,
it was awful.
Since our last show, the Colts did make another hire. So they brought in James Betcher, I think I'm saying that right, as our linebackers coach. Who some of you may recognize that name. He formerly was the outside linebackers coach back in 2012 for Indianapolis. So he has coached here before, so he's familiar with the city.
Giants too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is the guy that Anarumo brought in to be the linebackers coach that he coached with in Cincinnati, who coincidentally, because as we all know, Lou Anarumo didn't just leave the Bengals to come here. Lou Anarumo was fired from Cincinnati. Okay, they parted ways or whatever the political crap, legal stuff or whatever, but they fired his ass.
Yeah.
Okay. Along with that, they also did fire James Betcher or Betker. Or like I said, I don't know how to say his name. So if Mr. James, if you're
Betker?
watching this, I'm sorry, but he was fired as well as a linebackers coach. He was fired on January 6th. Okay, so this isn't like this dude. We stole him. We didn't steal crap. We stole him from his couch.
Yeah.
But hey, welcome back, James. Hopefully this goes better, and we'll see how it goes. But as of right now, look, you got Zaire Franklin. Yeah, technically have EJ Speed. It'd be interesting to see what happens with EJ Speed. He has fallen off hard. I don't think this is the guy to turn that ship around. I don't. Sorry. Because what is this guy going to teach EJ Speed? I think you part ways with EJ Speed and bring in a good outside linebacker, which on the free agency show we'll talk about some really nice outside linebackers that are available. Man, there's one out of San Francisco that I think could be a good little steal for us. I don't know if I should drop that little nugget or not, but you know what? I'm not gonna tease you.
We'll save it for the next
Okay.
episode.
All right. So you got to come back. You got to watch because I want to really go over some of these free agents. I'm so excited to see all the guys that Chris Ballard's not going to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not going to get. That's a good place to leave it. It's past 11. It's been a long couple of days, so I think we're going to call it in. We'll be back next Friday, and we'll start going over some of these free agents. Obviously, we're going to recap the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll come back sooner. Try to do it closer to the end of the Super Bowl.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could do more.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see y'all next week. If you're here, like, share, subscribe. Head over to Kingmaker Sports, Kingmaker_DFF. Do that. This AFC South show. There's Third and Teal, Titans Takeaways. I don't know why you'd go there. They don't have fans. And that Real Texas Team podcast. So, we appreciate all your support. Make sure you jam that like, share, subscribe. And as always, go Colts. For the shoe, baby. Go Colts. We'll see you next time.
Love you, Eric.
Thanks for your time, Justin. We'll see you next time, brother.
Duval. Okay.